Kick it.
It's candy. She's just so candy.
Welcome, guys. This is Candy. Welcome to another episode of The Candy Show. We are here in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I want to welcome my special guest, Didda Joe. Welcome.
What's up, world?
Oh.
What's up with you, Candy?
What's up? Look at them. Okay, hold on. We got to see them shades. Let's zoom in them shades. Okay. We see you. All right.
Something slight, my little secret collection. I've been trying this, because it's. Someone told me the other day they look like stop shades or something like that.
Cool.
So it's cool. I'm just blocking the haters. That's all what I'm saying.
I'm gonna have to take them. Y'all from because those are nice.
I might be able to hook you up.
Okay.
It's my little secret, but I might be able to hook you up.
Okay. Well, Didda Joe, tell everyone who you are and.
Really just I'm just singer, songwriter, producer, musician. I do a lot of things. I also train dolphins in my spare time. So
are you I'm sorry, is that true for real?
It might be.
Oh my
I have a lot of secrets to myself. Good secrets though. All good secrets. But I do a lot of things. Anything music related, I pretty much do. I don't rap or nothing, but I used to. So I do a lot of things. We'll just keep it at that.
We can definitely tell you do something with this image that you have going on. Tell everyone where you're from.
Well, I'm born and raised East Side, Indianapolis, Indiana. Naptown was good. And
Naptown?
Yeah, I mean, I've been around. Currently living in LA, but shout out to California, shout out to Florida, Atlanta. I have a few stomping grounds really, so I feel like all these places are like home. But Naptown's where I'm from.
Okay, tell us how you got inspired to get into the music business.
Really, I have to say just life and my parents, my family. Of course, my mother, she was is a singer, and my father being a musician, and my father also having like a band and just his whole musical background constantly being around me. It was like, how could I escape it? So I really just feel like, just my daily, things in life that I just was naturally around just made it impossible for me to not break into music. And I think I just kind of discovered when I was really young that I kind of just had a nice little talent, if you will, so it was real natural and easy for me to pick up on instruments and things. So I always knew from a young age, like, no, this is what I'm gonna do. So
okay. And you say you're a world traveler, basically.
Yeah.
When did you make that step to decide to leave Indianapolis?
Originally, I think it was like going to college. I actually got a chance to attend Full Sail University in Orlando, but in that time, it was kind of just not enough for me being in school. I knew there was so much more I was supposed to be doing, and I kind of just like took that leap then. My dad actually was the one that told me, and it was crazy because I remember my mom, dad, and stepmom, all calling me from like while I'm in Florida, telling me, hey, why don't you just come home, give up school, and go chase your dreams. So, that was their words. Just let me put that on record.
Put it on record.
It's their words. If they ever tell me, that I shouldn't have left home or nothing, yes, you did. But no, I mean, that kind of just led me to California unexpectedly. I wasn't even planning to go out there, and the rest has just been history, in the making.
Okay. So let's tell everyone, how did you come up with Didda Joe?
Oh man, so I don't know if they're ready for this. All right, so people call me DJ growing up, and I was always kind of like iffy about telling people what my name really meant. I was embarrassed, I guess, but not like, I just think it was in middle school. I was just in a class and a friend of mine asked me, what does DJ stand for? Before I can answer, another friend, real goofy dude, like, shout out to my boy Steve, man. Like, Steve was my boy, but just real goofy guy. He answers and just says, Didda Joe. And it was like, we all just looking at him, and next thing you know, he starts chuckling, and he's like, Didda Joe Mama. Back when Joe Mama jokes was like popping, really corny, but no, it actually kind of started like kind of sticking around the class, and people called me that in like hallways, and people would just joke about it, and then I was finally like, what, this kind of actually sounds kind of cool, so I'm just gonna call myself that, because back then I didn't care about like stage names and all of that stuff, so it was like the biggest deal to me to figure out which name I was supposed to be. So Didda Joe just kind of was my first choice, and I got stuck with it, but I like it now. It took me time, but I like the name. So.
And you're an artist, so tell us about that, because you're not just, he's downplaying actually what he is, guys. He's a musical genius, and once you hear his work, you will understand. Once you hear, you follow, you will know he is a musical genius.
Man, well, you said it, not me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, no problem.
But yeah, like for me, just being the artist that I am, it's really just the places and the things I grew up on and draw from. I kind of like have been called the baby prince again. That's not me saying that, that's the world saying that. So I thank you guys, but hey, I'll let you guys put the names on it. So when you think of Prince, of course you think of how not only eclectic his music styles were, with just his whole eccentricness with his wardrobe. Sometimes he was a guy who wasn't like he always pushed boundaries, and he wasn't afraid of what people thought about him. He just wanted to push the envelope. So I kind of like pushing a different envelope, where it's like, I come from, I guess you can call it the hood. I don't necessarily see myself as coming from the hood, but I did come from like a background where people wanted to fit more of a black culture. They wanted to wear baggy jeans and the latest Jordans, but I liked rock music growing up, and just like the different things I wanted to learn, that helped me kind of learn music in my way. Also kind of just made me feel like, what, if I just put myself in a box, then people will never understand who I am as an artist. So what you see now is just me kind of like taking all different pieces of different lifestyles, different cultures that I like to embrace, and just putting it together in my own little puzzle piece of a way. So it's a lot of different things that you can draw from me.
So when you pick up a musical instrument, what's the musical instrument that you're best known for? Is it the bass guitar? What is a guitar?
Man,
what is it?
Yeah, I think for me, my first real love is just guitars, just electric guitars. I think I wanted my own identity because my dad plays bass, and of course that was one of the first instruments I learned. I always had drums around, so I would just pick up on everything I could touch. But it wasn't until I finally got to playing guitar that I really felt like, yeah, this is the one for me. This is the one that I feel most comfortable with, feels best on my fingers, so it's just like, I can always have the best moments with the guitar, and then just everything else, kind of just falls behind it just in its own way. Guitar is number one, but every other instrument can be in whatever order you want to put it in, really. So yeah, guitar is my favorite.
Okay. And when you stepped out of Indianapolis, you went to Florida and you started becoming a world traveler. Tell us about your first project, because that's when your first real project came along, correct?
Yeah, so,
1993? Is that what it was?
Well, 1993 was actually like my LA chronicles, but since you do bring up Florida, like for those who are really, really fans of Didda Joe, I did do my first project, and it was actually called Waiting for My Moment. And Waiting for My Moment was really just that initial project that kind of just starts people off on the story I want to tell people, because it was my new experience of moving to Florida, getting to just have that freedom and having that chance to kind of explore myself musically. And that project was important too, because it really kind of set up for the project now that I have out called 1993, which is my chronicles of just moving to Los Angeles and learning the music industry and just experience different women, and just kind of like me telling my life story in the R&B way, if you will.
You mentioned a baby Prince. I actually believe that, but in your own way.
Yeah.
Every time when I hear a song of yours, especially your guitar skills. I mean, you even on social media. Is he like your idol, would you say?
Oh, absolutely. Like I remember, like one of the first artists I ever heard, especially with my dad riding around. It was Prince, and it was the rugged Prince. It was the dirty Prince. It wasn't the When Doves Cry and Purple Rain Prince. No, it was the Darling Nikki's and Sexy MFer Princes. So it was like when you get that first taste of somebody who's just like on the edge, it's no turning back. So, I always love Prince. Definitely.
So your project, 1993. So would you consider that your first project, your freshman project? Would it be your sophomore project? Or what do you consider that as?
I'm honestly going to call it my freshman project, only because even though like I said, I had like a prelude to that project.
I like that.
Yeah, we'll call it that, the prequel. As a matter of fact, I feel like 1993 was that project where I really was breaking out into the industry. I actually had a chance to work with a producer who's one of my favorite producers of all times, named Ayo, and he's responsible for artists all the way from Cardi B to Drake, Chris Brown. He's done a lot with Bryson Tiller. This guy, a lot of people may not know his name, but he's a really amazing musician who I've been watching for years. So to have him on that project, made it special. And then I also had my West Coast homie Joe Moses, come and bless me with a feature on the project, which was so cool because that was actually like the first artist I got to work with, bigger named artists in LA I got to work with. So to have him on the project made it even more special, where it felt like, no, this is really my first project. So everything behind the scenes kind of makes it feel like the first project. Definitely.
I really loved 1993.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely has, you could tell the mesh of your talent. Now, were you producing? Now, you said you had a producer on 1993. What did you do as far as 1993? Tell us what you contributed to that album.
Well, actually, I should fix my words here. I actually produced the project, and then my boy Ayo came in and he just like started adding things to it. So I did actually like the original project and even a lot of the records on there now that I can think of, like 1993, the title record itself. I did all of that.
I love it.
I did all of that. Yeah. So that was me, in a nutshell, kind of like you said, like it was really just showing my mesh of sounds and different people and inspirations. So, I think it was only right that I did that whole record just by myself, no outside influence from other people. And like it's a couple records kind of like that too, that kind of just, my boy Ayo came and he just touched it up and there it was. So that I have to put that out there because people ask me that all the time. Actually,
did you play any instruments on that album?
Everything. Whether it was keys or guitars, bass guitars, drums. I played live drums on there. So like just trying to put all of it out there, and there's still stuff I didn't do yet. So
wait a minute, and then you're gonna say that you're not a musical genius?
Well, I'm working on it.
Multi-talented, willing to say that, but I say
you call it whatever you want. That's for you to call me. Hey, I'll just accept it and just sit here and smile because I'm grateful.
When you get categorized, and I say this all the time, when you win your Grammy or your American Music Award, what category do you think they'll put Didda Joe in?
Man, I mean, traditionally, some people have called me a pop artist lately, which is weird to me because I love pop music. I love MJ and all that, but I still would say R&B because for me, even though it's more alternative R&B. Yeah. You know, I still want to keep that alive. I feel like R&B today doesn't really have the same like soul in it, and I think it's kind of like I've said before, we've gone from rhythm and blues to ratchet and basic, you know, being what R&B stands for, in my opinion.
You're right.
Yeah.
R&B.
So I would love to just be able to keep, you know, the true identity of rhythm and blues alive. So I don't mind being called an R&B artist. I definitely think of myself as way more than that, but hey, call it R&B if that's what saves it, you know, because R&B is still alive, it ain't dead. So that part.
And throughout all the songs that I've heard, even up until your new songs, your new releases,
Yeah.
to me, you can fit into multiple categories: R&B, pop, rock. Did I hear a little bit of, you said you rap? I heard a little rap. It's not like a rap, but it's a
Just a little
smooth
bit.
R&B kind of rap.
Yeah, just to let them know, like, don't come for me.
So
Yeah.
again, I say musical genius because you're covering all of these categories. Not to mention you're the artist. You're singing,
Yeah.
writing.
Yeah.
You're producing.
Right.
You're also playing your instruments. So you can't tell me that's not a musical genius.
Yeah.
You mentioned about, you talk about love. Now, I have noticed throughout a lot of your songs, you talk so heavily, you speak so heavily on women.
Yeah.
Loving them, making them feel so good.
Right.
So is that your main topic all the time when you're performing?
Well, you're absolutely right. I like catering to women first and foremost. Not to leave you fellas out, you know, it's still with you in mind, because you can play this for your women, and, you know, hopefully it gets you somewhere good in your day. But I don't know, it's different for me. I grew up around a lot of women, my sisters to my aunts and cousins. You know, I have so many powerful, just amazing women in my life that it was always, you know, like a strong staple for me. So when I think of, you know, women that I've encountered and women that I want to encounter and stuff, it's like I feel like my messages are really just speaking to those who need to remember, like, there are guys out there, there are men who, they want to appreciate you. They want to love you. You know, they're smooth. They can be the same, you know, suave, you know, this bad boy kind of, you know, guy. But there's still a side that you're kind of missing out of when you kind of keep love out the scenario. So I just want to keep that, like, in people's minds and hearts, because I do feel like that's something else we're kind of dying out on, and we're lacking a lot of in just life today. You know, people don't love the same. Everyone's cool with just like the sex and the intimacy, but they're not, you know, in tune with the real emotion behind love. You know, what makes you keep things longer lasting with relationships and all that. So,
Basically,
you know,
wham, bam, thank you, ma'am type.
right.
I mean, we have apps out there that are specifically for that, you know.
Yeah, for real. So yeah, it's you know, it's lame for people now, but it's important, because love is something that, you know, it keeps everyone going in certain ways that we don't even realize, because we kind of lost touch with that. So I'm just trying to keep love alive, and I feel like it's more important to keep it alive with women, because I mean, hey, fellas, like, no disrespect, but there can be 5 men in the world, and the world could keep going if you really think about it. But when we lose out on women, you know, we're losing out on our future, because y'all make children and y'all are the nurturers. Y'all are responsible for a lot of life when you think about it, because of all the, you know, with all due respect, single mothers who've had to raise children on their own and just raise the greatest people ever. We can't lose that. So we can't lose that mentality, that love, that emotion that, you know, a woman can give. So I always try to, like, pick on the women a little bit. You know, sometimes it's about love, other times it's about, like, what are you doing? Carry yourself better. So
Okay. Well, on that note, women rule the world. So I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.